angle. Grace, continuing to cover this story from every angle. Grace Anderson is joining us right now. She's a high school friend of Kelley Goncalves and Zaina Kernodle, and she's joining us live.
Who was that look just meant for that she just gave someone? And you're not going to see that once or twice. You're going to see that a couple times through here. But I want you to also take a gander, take a look at what's happening behind her. There's a room or something behind her. Or I don't know if that's a split screen. I don't know. It doesn't look like it because you can see her shoulder. So it looks like it's actually behind her in another room, like a separate, like, say dining room, but it looks like someone's behind the closed door. And it looks like they're wearing white. So maybe go back and watch it after you watch it through the first time here. I'm going to take these stupid subtitles off here too. They come up automatically when I'm doing the video, and I always forget to take them off. So I'm just going to do it right now so you can see. You'll be able to see what I'm doing. I'm not going to make this the most beautiful video. I just want to get this out there. So I'm just going to go through it.
First, so sorry for your loss. The pain of this, I can't even imagine. But we have the video of a couple of your friends. At least I know that Kelley was there at the food truck. Do you, Idaho? First, so sorry for your loss. The pain of this, I can't even.
That look made me think like she was looking at someone saying, I know the script. I know what I'm supposed to say. I know what I'm not supposed to say. Now just let me get through this because I don't want to be here. Please.
Imagine. But we have the video of a couple of your friends. At least I know that Kelley was there at the food truck. Do you know who all is in this video?
Just Maddie and Kelley, yes.
So she's not supposed to tell who all was at the food truck. That's what I'm getting from this. Now this is pure speculation, all my opinion. It is.
Okay. And you were very close with Zaina. What was when was the last time you spoke with her?
I would say this summer. I mean, I would talk to her over Snapchat every once in a while, but
I don't believe what she said. The way she looked up, gathering information. She's shaking her head. No, she's talking. We all know what that means. Well, in most cases, you know, it's not a body language. And watching, you know, those movements and stuff is not all exactly a sign. I mean, it's not all exactly how, you know, it's written in books. It can't be because I mean, everybody's different, right? But this poor girl was brought on as an agenda. I mean, they really put her in here to further the narrative, their narrative. In my opinion. And that's what they did with all of them. You think any of them got up there and told their own story? Hell no. First of all, she wouldn't have someone sitting right beside her telling her what to frickin' do, and she wouldn't be giving them those kinds of looks, for one. She'd also be sitting probably not as straight up and like, you know, like she's in a straitjacket. She would be comfortable, probably telling her story, laying on a bed. I don't know, maybe out in the lawn, you know, underneath at the back patio, you know, patio set with an umbrella over blocking the sun. Maybe something like that. But not in a scenario like this. No. This is not her story. These are not the questions she would probably be answering. Say a friend who is also a friend of Zaina's, now, in my opinion, the friend that's doing these interviews needs to be the friend of all of them, every one of them, not just one or the other. I mean, it's helpful with one or the other, maybe two, but in a reality, they all need to know each other, so they know the feeling in the house, so they knew what everybody felt about everybody else, and if it was, you know, good, bad, ugly, whatever it was, when it turned good, bad, or ugly, the whole thing. But they're not doing that. I mean, this girl just said that she hadn't talked to Zaina. She looked up and she was like kind of grabbing from the air. I don't believe her. Maybe she saw her sooner than that, maybe later, I don't know. But I don't believe what she said in here. Now, I'm not calling her a liar. Her thing is they've got an agenda. What they're doing, they're telling her what to say. And it's pretty obvious when she looks over and makes those looks to the person that's sitting next to her. These are all part of the narrative. These are all part of their story. This isn't Xana, Ethan, Kaylee, and Maddie's story. This is their story. This is what's so disgusting about this case, is we don't even know, really, truthfully, we know nothing. We're just grabbing from air what we've seen. All the different interviews, they all change all the time. They're always spinning around, changing around us, right? It's like a tornado. We're in the middle of this freaking eye of a tornado. And every time someone gets close, guess what? They throw something else out there. And it's not just the prosecution and these other people. It is also the family members. They're doing it too. Now, you guys can be mad at me, or you can holler at me, whatever you need to do. But here's the thing. It's out there. And they are, wow. They are directing the narrative. They're putting us on a path, right? And this path isn't anyone's path but their own. And this path, they're basically, we're passengers in the car. They're the drivers. And whenever they're driving and they get to this area, this crossroads, right, where all this information is puddled up right there, and you can go left or you can go right, or you can go right down the middle. There's a puddle of information right at this crossroad, right? And what they have to do in order to keep us from finding out the truth is they have to take us down a whole nother direction. They have to veer from whatever we know and pull out some story that kind of makes sense, or maybe it really makes sense. Maybe it doesn't freaking make sense at all, but they're going to do it because they know we're going to go looking for it, because we're trying to find an answer. And when their answers are showing up that telling us that anybody in and around that group, that town, that university, even into their own, where they were in their hometowns where they were born. I mean, it goes away. It even goes there. That any one of those people could be involved in this somehow. That is how big this story has gotten, this case has gotten. They have involved everybody. They have brought to the table a town of could be possibly murders. This is what they have done. Instead of telling the truth, they have put out this buffet of lies and back roads, alleys, pathways in the dark. And on these pathways, they've dropped a name. They've dropped anything they can drop. Anything that drops, like a little breadcrumb. We're Hansel and Gretel trying to get back home to get back home. We want to get back home. We want to bring this home. We want to bring this home so they can rest. They're tired. They deserved a rest. And you've got these assholes out there stringing us along with breadcrumbs. And what do these breadcrumbs do? Well, the birds come and eat those things. Throw out a screw or something. Throw out a freaking something metal. Oh, then the crows would come get it because they like shiny stuff, right? What does it matter? The thing is, we want to get home to lay them to rest. And all they keep doing is stringing us along. And the family, I'm just going to say it. It's the family's doing it too. Maybe they have to, maybe they don't. I don't know. I'm not them. Look at her face right now. Look at this girl. Look at her right now. Look at this. What does that tell you? I think she's scared. Look at her looking out into nothing. Like she's looking trying to, you know, she might not even know the answer, but she knows something. And that something is being driven by the person on her right. And quite possibly the person behind her where that light is back there, off to her, over her left shoulder. This girl looks scared, in my opinion. This girl is going to definitely say what they want her to say. Because for all we know, it could be someone sitting beside her with a gun pointing at her. We don't know that, right? Maybe they've got an ice cream cone. Maybe they've got a hostage. We have no idea what's going on there. They've just brought this girl up, put her behind a camera, give her a script prior to getting there as to what to say and what definitely not to say, and you better listen to us. And then they turn the camera on. You know, fixed her hair a little bit. This is not real. This is not her telling her story. This is someone else telling her what to say is her story. And to throw out some breadcrumbs.
This summer was like the last time I really got to talk to her.
Do you have any guesses as to who could have done this?
No, that's up to the authorities to disclose.
Of course it's up to the authorities to disclose because they're sitting right next to her. She's not, these are their words. This is like clad in black. Okay? It's up to the authorities to disclose. Come on.
With everybody.
Okay. Have you been in touch with the authorities? Have police questioned you and other friends, hopefully trying to get some more info and piece this together?
No. But again, like I said, like I'm mostly here just to speak on behalf of Xana and Kelley and...
Okay, here's another one. Of course she wasn't interviewed by the authorities because they didn't interview anybody. Every person, with the exception of Enon, were not even interviewed. Those kids weren't talked to. Why? Because they already had a freaking agenda. This isn't their story. This is the other people's story. This is the murderer's story. And everybody behind that. This is the higher ups. This is awful. Look at her face now. She's like, ugh. This is, to me, what she's saying right here. It's like, oh God, can we get this over? You know, that sneer, like that little lip thing that she's doing. Watch her lip. She's disgusted by this. She's disgusted because the authorities might not have talked to her directly, might not be sitting next to her, but whoever has talked to the authorities. Oh, hands down. Not a doubt in my mind. Because they're driving this whole narrative. They're driving this. This is their boat. This is their car. This is their plane. This is their bus, their train, hot air balloon, whatever it is they're driving. They're driving it. They are driving it, and she knows it. Look at her. She's like, oh, God. You know like how you do that like sneer, like when you don't like, you know, like, ugh, and one of your sides of your lips comes up? Ugh. Jeez. I can't believe you just said that. Ugh. Something like that. Like, ugh, you gotta be kidding me. You know, this is what she's saying. Oh, my Lord.
Honoring them, as well as Ethan and Maddie.
Well, what would you...
So until further notice of the authorities...
Go ahead. I apologize.
So until further notice of the authorities. She had to throw in all the names there, right? Because you have to. You have to bring all the victims' names into this. Which I understand, but not everybody knows all the victims. So why do they have to? because it's their narrative. They have to do that. But look at her. Look at her now, you guys. Look at her. She's like, oh my God, can we just get this over with? I don't want to lie anymore. This is not the story. Can we just get this over with? It's so hard to lie when I want to tell the truth. But I can't. They won't let me. God, can we just get this over with? I don't want to answer any more questions. Please.
Just until authorities have
right there, that was pure disgust. Tell the authorities. You see that look on her face? That was like, oh, gross. I don't want to eat that. Look at her. Look down. She's just like, this is just... Oh, can you guys see this? You have to see what I'm seeing. You have to.
Disclosed what has happened. I know no more information than anybody else does.
Okay, so what would you like to say on behalf of your friends?
Look at that. It's perfect. I stopped this at the perfect point. Look at this. Ugh. Look at this. Look at her. She is disgusted. Right now, she could even be saying the word disgusted. It looks exactly what she's saying. There you have it. So, when she gets done, she puts that look on her face, like she's like got her lips pursed together, and she's like it's almost like that right there. Also, is an interesting tell-all. Oh my gosh, I want to do this in slow motion a little bit, but I don't want to ruin the sound of it.
Disclosed what has happened. I know no more information than anybody else does.
Okay.
That right there. Because this is what they told me to say. I'm pretending to smile, but really, I want the fuck out of here. Can this interview be over, please? Because this person next to me stinks. Quite frankly, I don't like them. And I want to get far away from them. I'm just doing this because I had to. I can't go any further into that story because it's not my story. It's their story. So I'm going to smile sweetly and pretend that I'm doing this for Xana. Oh, and let's not forget the other three. But really, I was forced to do this. So I'm going to smile just a little bit right here. But I'm going to show you guys it's really not a smile. It's like, sure. Like she's saying, she's sitting there to one of her friends who's telling this crazy-ass story about, this guy, this amazing guy, and how he did this and how he did that, when she knows dang well she stayed home that night. So she's like, sure, yeah, right, sure, That's what she's doing.
So what would you like to say on behalf of your friends?
Well, I mean, I'm not exactly sure how to start something like this, and I want to preference that Xana, Maddie, Kaylee, and Ethan were not just victims, but were family, friends, and loved ones to not only myself, but all of those affected.
Oh, God, I just want to throw up right now. These people, these freaking people. You're going to tell me that would have come out of her mouth, what she just said right there? If so, then I don't want to talk to you no more. See that purse of her lips she just did right there, that holding back? She wanted to say something so bad. She wants to tell the truth. Even if she doesn't know anything, she wants to tell the truth. She wants to say, they're making me say this. This is what they want me to say. I don't know anything. I really don't. I didn't talk to the authorities because I wasn't even in the area. Or maybe I was in the area. Maybe whatever her story is. She's not telling her story. She's not telling her story of her and Xana.
I'm saddened to be speaking on behalf of them today, but hope to share some of the good because I was lucky enough.
Did you hear that gulp? Happy to share some of the good, and then you heard a gulp. She just gulped. Look at her. She's sad. God. She's like, God, can we please just... This is so painful. Why are you doing this to us? I want to go home.
Affected. I'm saddened to be speaking on behalf of them today, but hope to share some of the good, because I was lucky enough to have known these two beautiful girls, despite the fact that they were so much more than what my words can describe of them. But Xana was just such a light, and she was lively, tenderhearted, so bubbly, and a humorous girl that I think that we could, all of our friends and family could second. As far as Kelley, I didn't know her as well as Xana, but she was someone that when I went to the university was always, as far as Kelley, I didn't know her as well as Xana, but she was someone that when I went to the university.
Do you see that brow come down on her? That's interesting. Very interesting. I'm not going to really say what I think that is right yet, because I don't want to get into that yet, but you guys take your own, view on that one. But in my opinion, with this girl talking, the way she's talking about her friend and stuff, some of what she was saying about Xana, probably all of what she's saying about Xana was true, but there's something she's not saying. There's something she's not saying. And I think what they're not saying is also a tell-all. I think that, in my opinion, they were worried about Xana and Ethan. I think they were worried about their alcohol intake, about possibly their drug intake. I don't know if that's what they were doing, but possibly. It kind of, in my opinion, those Venmos at that last day, up till they stopped at 11:30 that night, they kind of tell a story. I mean, they do tell a story, not kind of. So, look at her. She's just like, oh God. This girl has some facial expressions. Boy, I'll tell you, she's a good one to study. This is who Lauda should have studied, said that stupid guy with the airlines. Adam's only one of 2 videos that I watched before he took them down, because they got a little bit more airtime. They only had 6 views when I first started watching them. By the time I got the word out there, there was about 300 views on it before he took them down. But I'm shocked people didn't go watch them when I said to go watch them, but they didn't. Oh well, I better check this, make sure I've got enough room. Guys, so I screwed this up, and I for some reason the sound didn't come over this part, so I'm having to redo this part voice-wise. Hopefully it works, or maybe I'll put this clip in there. I don't know. I've never had to do this before, so just bear with me, okay?
To the university, was always checking in on me, making sure I felt welcomed and seen.
I like how she said that, seen, and I could see Kelley being like that. Make sure she's seen, because I think Kelley's such a big personality that she's probably never been seen, right? Because she makes it herself be seen. And, whatever way she does it. I mean, I don't think it's a bad way. I think, she's just, that's her personality. And by making her say that, oh, wow. That's a huge one. That's huge. That's a heart thing. That's a big Kelley heart thing. Making sure she's seen. That is just, right there, I just love that. Wow.
Sorry.
And look at that. Obviously, that meant so much to her. Now, whether she wasn't seen at all, maybe at first, maybe she was a newbie there and didn't, maybe she was shy. I don't know. But Kelley made sure that she was seen, made her feel like she was seen. That right there, God, you guys, I'm starting to cry, so I would shut up.
It's okay. when we think about this story, a lot of college students, they go out, they have fun, they might have a late night, they might go out till 12 or...
She's having a hard time not crying, this girl, Grace, and just a minute ago when she's looking up and just like shaking her head like, I cannot believe this. How could they have done this? It's just like someone disbelief.
In the morning, not surprisingly, coming home in these middle of the night hours. For this attack to happen, do you want to clear the air with anybody watching at home? Were your friends into hard partying? Were they, someone who hung out with the wrong kind of guys?
Absolutely not. No, they were always very careful, always took the necessary precautions to be safe, staying with each other.
Wow, did you just see her? Look at her. Wow. I am glad I had to redo this because I didn't see this part the first time. Now, right before this, when she says safe, she looks over at this person again. I'm going to rewind this real quick. Oh my God. I'm going to put this part in slow motion.
Wrong kind of guys.
Absolutely not. No, they were always very careful, always took the necessary precautions to be safe, staying with each other, always traveling with somebody or in groups. They were loved by everybody. I can't think of anybody who would have an ill thing to say about them or...
A little bit, but don't get too comfortable. Reel it back onto the road, honey. You're off into the shoulder right now. Got a few rocks flying behind us. We don't want to get anything like that up.
We want to give you Grace,
anything other than what we're going to give them.
Being here this morning.
So reel it back in, darling.
Or in groups. They were loved by everybody. I can't think of anybody who would have an ill thing to...
Bull crap. She's lying through her teeth right there. I want to know who they pissed off. Because they ticked off someone. Look at her eyeballs right here. Oh my gosh. She's talking about right now, she's talking about the haters. She's talking about the people who that they had issues with. Look at her eyes. She's like a deer in headlights right now.
Say about them or
wish them harm.
Yeah, right.
Well, we want to thank you, Grace, for being here this morning, and strength to you and your heart and to all the family members and friends of these girls and Ethan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Was this the Grace that was on Kaylee's Things I Value list? I still think we need to go back to that list. I've been screaming it from the day one since I first found out about that list. That list is important. That list is Kaylee telling us something. And why that list isn't more powerful to people, I don't understand. There's people that know a lot more than I do on here. And we all know a little something different, right? We all have our strengths in whatever area. Our strength with whatever strength we can gather out of it, right? Because, like I said, we don't know anything. So, that list needs to be broken down. Now, the part that really got me in that list was the part where she talks about her room. And she talks about she just wants her own privacy. I don't feel like they ever had privacy in that house. And I think that house was wired for sound. I always have. I always will. And that privacy, they didn't have any privacy. I almost feel like this newscaster here is saying, I'm sorry, honey, I'm trying to get this over as fast as possible. And Grace is over there going, oh, God, just get this over with. I need to get out of here. I need to breathe. Oh, this air in here is stifling. Oh, I need to go outside and take a deep breath of air. Oh, Please let this be over. Thank God this is over. And this newscaster's like, it's my job. I have to ask these stupid freaking questions. Really just want to go there and give you a big old hug and say I'm so sorry about your loss. I'm so sorry for your loss and your friends. I hope they can get some peace soon. I hope they find the killers. Okay, I gotta go. Now I gotta do a snarky piece on Brian Kohberger. I know, I don't want to, but I have to. It's my job. I get paid to do this. Pretty good, too.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider.
But she looks so different with her hair up and to down, doesn't she? I like both looks, but she looks totally different. I didn't even know that was her till just now. And I've watched it so many times, I didn't realize it was the same woman.